In ancient times, in a small village, there were poor people who were wearing the shoes of a very wealthy rich man, including a man named Kabashi who was more persecuted and compassionate. He always wanted a son, and one day he was tired of going to another village where he asked the rich man to work, so he stopped for a while and thought, hey, how nice it would be for me to have a son, and I wanted to be like a boy like them. Because have only a son, I will ask him to rescue the poor who are under the shoes of the rich man, not the rich man, but the poor who are shoehorned by others. You are kind, compassionate, and righteous, so that you are being persecuted by the rich man, who unjustly persecutes the poor. I will give you good treasure to save not just the rich, but also the poor, and the other rich ones who have persecuted the poor. A fiery fire broke out, and a baby came out of the fire, and Kabashi grabbed the baby and thought about the name of the baby. One day, Kabashi, a 5-year-old boy in Phoenicia, thought that he was a child who had been given the good spirit and that he was born out of the fire. Because the rich man had the poor, Kabashi replied to the rich man that many of the rich subordinates of Phoenix and Kabashi came to kill them, and Phoenix was a little girl, and he didn't do anything. Kabashi, on the other hand, was confronted with many people, and one by one, he stabbed each other with a knife, saying, should we reply to our rich man? Years later, Phoenix was a brave, handsome boy who returned to the village where his father died for his father to take revenge for his father. He searched for the rich man in the village, and he followed him, and he realized that the man was following him, and Phoenix stabbed the rich man with a knife, but the two of them did not stab him. Finally, Phoenix strangled the rich boy and put his neck with a knife. Phoenix, hey, who did you ask me to kill my father? I don't know, Phoenix, I don't want to be with you regularly. He brutally stabbed Pinyin with a brutal sword, saying, T don't know if I'm going to tell you, I don't know, and the man who killed his father was brutally murdered. He knew that the rich man had actually killed his father, but he did not remember him. He made him closer to the rich man, and he and the rich man got closer and closer, and the last day he was going to kill the rich man in his house and in the rich man's house. At the beginning of the week, the rich man was crouching behind him, and he was careful with a symbol. The day he was going to kill the rich man, and all those attending the event had to wear a mask, and Phoenix attended the event. Later, when the rich man's birthday cake was broken, the rich man's assistant seized the rich man's sword and pulled out his eye. Oh, I stole into my house yesterday without letting me go, and when I looked behind you with my symbol, you came up with a photograph, which was a photograph taken by your father, and at first I didn't know you, but when I read the letter behind the photograph, I realized that you were Kabashi's son, said the rich man. Send him to prison. While the rich man laughed, I'm going to kill you someday. About a year later, the Phoenician rich man died because he did not provide food or water properly, but Phoenix was reluctant to kill the rich man, who followed the rich man and watched him one day. Following the rich man, he saw the rich man torturing the poor and picking up fields. Angry and shocked, the rich man, who thought he had died and had escaped Nineveh, followed the rich man in an empty life, and the rich man was more afraid than ever, eventually killing the rich man and his daughter, who was hungry for the rich daughter, who was not like her father. He persecuted the poor, killed him, and killed the rich man without a woman, and his wife tortured the poor, so she was killed. Finally, the Phoenician rich daughter was killed. When his daughter died, he saw a white man passing by as he approached the lake, and the rich man suddenly breathed breathlessly as he moved forward, and someone came round. Then the man stopped squeezing the pencil and pushed him into the pool, feeling as if Phoenix had come with the sword in his mind to climb the lake, and he heard the sounds. In fact, Phoenix came to him with a knife, and when he arrived on the hill, Phoenicia stabbed the rich man's heart with a knife, stabbed the rich man's stomach, and stabbed him in the neck and head in the Mourning, he screamed at the rich man, who was stabbed to death by the sword, the body, and the head, as well as the blood in his mouth and the pool of blood. The poor, on the other hand, regained their land, and all the people in the small village happily ate and drank. And Phoenix was released because of his wishes.